Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Jason Hunt here, inviting you to join us every Saturday morning for news. The week's headlines in science fiction, fantasy, horror, comic books, video games, plus Comic-Con updates and the weather, and the occasional interview along the way. We call it Good Morning Multiverse. We hope you join us every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, right here on Sci-Fi For Me TV.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com, Chief Envelope Licker for Critical Blast Logistics, myopic proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing, and I can and often do help you with your data problems having to do with your crowdfunders with 35 years of data analysis experience through Critical Blast Consulting. Tonight, do you love superheroes? Because that's kind of why most of us are into comics, right? If you're into comics, you love superheroes. You know who's not into superheroes or comics? The lead character of this comic, Tights. It's kind of like The Boys. It's kind of like DC's old school vigilante. It's kind of like a response to COVID. It's kind of like its own thing, really. There's no real fair sense of comparing it to stuff that's gone before because it's kind of its own thing. The person who could best tell us most about this is tonight's guest, Chris Waigand. Chris, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's good to be back. It's good to see you and talk to you. That intro is badass. Is that new?
What this?
Your intro, the Critical Blast one, yeah.
Oh, the Critical Blast. It's the older intro, but it's got newer music to it.
Got it. So, yeah, that was sharp, man.
I just get some more jingles done. I'm like, hey, just time it to this video, and I'll just overlay it and mute it, and have a bunch of the same video, all different. So you came back. You did this once, and it wasn't enough to scare you off.
On the contrary, man. No, I had a blast, and look,
that's my line.
Intended. No, I love. We all love what you're doing for the community, and it's just always fun to talk comics and crowdfunding.
Yeah. So how successful was Tights #1? I mean, met goal, close to goal, totally exceeded goal, and you're living in a condo now.
Well, since I'm living in San Francisco, that'll never happen unless I sell the rights to Warner Brothers or something. Or
won't do that.
Yeah. No. Well, you know what? The campaign itself was very successful. I mean, beyond what I thought that we could do. I think it was 386% funded, and I think on day one we met our goal. I mean, I was blown away by the support by the friends and family and friends that I didn't even talk to for years. I just saw the posts on social media and just came out in support. And then, what's really, really cool is, to get new fans of something that you've created and to see them starting to come back for issue 2 and being as excited as I hoped somebody could be has been, I mean, it's just incredible, man. And also this crowdfunding community this indie comics community. It's just one of the healthiest, communities I've ever been part of. And I work in gaming, so maybe that's easy because there's a lot of toxic communities in gaming, a lot of great people.
There's a lot of communities in comics. But there's a lot of toxic communities in Baptist banquets. I mean, it's you get a community, in any healthy functioning body has a butthole.
Oh man, I don't know how I've never heard that. Can I steal that?
We do. So that works with a single body and a body of people. It's that way universally. But there are a lot of comics fans out there in this crowdfunding community. Some of them in the chat here tonight. We got Mike Walters, who has already liked and shared the stream. Glad to see you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
And promoter extraordinaire, Mr. Pops Van Zandt, is popping in here. If he has not talked to you yet, he's probably going to listen a few minutes and then jump in and try to yank you over to his channel for another show.
Down,
especially when he sees the inks you're laying down here. That's a bit of an overstatement. I don't think you're the artist on this one, right? You're the writer.
No, I wish. I'm nowhere near that talented. The artist is Edison Neo out of Singapore, and the guy is a maniac. He's not only a fantastic artist, he's also an incredible writer. He's done a lot of his own creator, fully, sketching, inking, coloring, writing, you name it, promoting. He just finished his fourth issue in his anthology series called No Brainer, which is excellent and super funny. And Snake Claws was the work that I saw that got me going. That's the style I want for this comic, and that's why I reached out to him. And those are it's a full volume 1, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's like this kind of love. It's like a love story to old martial arts films. It's a lot of fun, and it's super funny. So yeah, he was far more talented than I. It's Edison Neo's work.
Yeah, I would never be able to do anything without an artist. I don't have one yet. Apparently, one will be assigned to me, but otherwise, this is RJ Carter original artwork here. That's
about as far as I can go too, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's it, boys and girls. Anybody wants the original art for that story, you can have it. It probably won't even survive. So I remember when Tights 1 came out, and I said when I brought the intro on here that it was sort of a response to COVID, because it was a situation where you were showing that, it used to be if you went into the bank with a mask on, the guard, kindly escorted you to the door with a gun drawn. And now if you go into the bank without a mask on, the guard will kindly escort you to the door.
That's right.
And say, go put one on and come back in.
Yeah.
But was that wasn't the only thing that influenced the creation of this story, was it?
No, you know what? It was the piece that was missing. I had an idea for this, and it was a far more rough idea of what this was to become. And it was just an idea of a judge. It was completely different. It was called Justice, and it was far more serious. And it was a judge that was sick of seeing, these scumbags kind of walking in a system that was broken. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to do something about it. But he had no training. Where do you start? And that's kind of like the everyman. Like, could you survive doing that? Being a vigilante? You're not just an ex-badass. You weren't in the special forces and now you're retired. You're just like a normal person. But, it ended up, I started writing it that way, and it just wasn't my tone of voice. And I wasn't having fun. And then, speaking of fun, and then COVID hit. No, but
yay!
Yeah, yay! And no,
but the whole family.
Yeah, what COVID did was, though, it created a world that we were all living in, and the economies were down, and people were out of jobs, and the unemployments were skyrocketing. And I was seeing out my window, the crime rates were crazy. People were losing their minds for a bit there, particularly in San Francisco where I live. And I'm like, well, geez, the next step is maybe people were just watching too many, Marvel movies and reading too many comics. Are like, you know what, I'm going to do something about this. I have nothing else to do right now. And I was like, that's crazy, but also fun. And I think I can make this more relatable. And if I were to infuse this pseudo world, or this world that is close to ours, into the story. And then I just started rolling with it. And again, it got more fun as I was rolling around with the ideas and the characters. And I think I've come to a point where it's still a little serious, but there's always a wink. And I think that's important because I don't want to get too dark and too depressing about this.
And as I recall, it's not really a world of superheroes.
No,
just mystery men, so to speak, or would-be masked vigilantes. A lot like Kick-Ass, or a lot like the early days of Watchmen before Dr. Manhattan.
Exactly. That's it, right? It's what would this look like if just normal people, and mostly people not only there's no superpowers here, but without any super skills, right? Like just people, probably a lot of them have mental problems, but they want to help out, but what would the collateral damage be? And that's where our protagonist, that's where he enters, and he's a federal judge, and that's why he hates tights, right? And tights is the derogatory term for these vigilantes, and because he has to deal with them on a day-to-day basis. He sees, again, the collateral damage, the families that are affected by these heroes trying to do the right thing, but who just, don't know what they're doing. And that's dangerous. And it also, they clog up the criminal justice system. And so that's why he's just so anti-tights. And I think that's why it's interesting when he's kind of thrust into their world. And now, we're going to see him have to play ball. But ultimately, I think we're going to see him become a bit of a hero himself. So, going from kind of an antagonist to maybe a little bit of a hero himself toward the end, it's hopefully going to be interesting and fun.
Yeah. You talk about him clogging up the legal system. We're not talking about just the criminals they catch, but because they're not ex-special forces and they're not, 25 years of ninja training, they generally get caught themselves.
Exactly.
End up, wearing their costume and their chains and shackles in front of the judge. Yeah, it's something that I thought about a lot because I grew up reading not just comic books but also a lot of science fiction and watching science fiction shows. As like just about everything that we ever prognosticated in science fiction has become something in real world today. I mean, Star Trek communicators, hello, right here.
Yeah.
And now it's also like a tricorder because you can get the watch that monitors your blood pressure and checks your blood sugar, and counts your steps. You got the Dick Tracy watch kind of thing where you're talking to people. As about the only thing that hasn't happened. Well, my first thought was, the only thing that hasn't happened is that somebody hasn't decided to become a superhero. Some Elon Musk level financial person with a good physical activity hasn't put on a mask and gone out and done something. And my second thought was, unless they're so good at it, they don't get caught. like, maybe he's out there already.
But that's the thought. That's exactly it. And I think what's fun is at the end of issue 1, we're actually introduced to some coordinated, somewhat funded badasses, and they are a team. Like, they are what you would hope is out there, and they are who save Oliver from this triad hit squad. And as we'll see in issue 2, now they want something from Oliver. And in the beginning of issue 2, we saw it in the video a bit that you played, that's on the Kickstarter. Oliver ends up doing something pseudo accidentally that's going to potentially put him into way more trouble than what he was already in, and that these good guys are going to use that as leverage against him to make him play ball with them. Now they're trying to do the right thing, but for him to do what they want, Oliver's going to have to break the law himself, and that's one thing that he will not do. But the snowball just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and we're going to see that he's just going to have to acquiesce and do what they say and get really involved in this underground world of tights and espionage.
Well, let's I'm going to bring the Kickstarter up here in a second, but just to continue on with that thought, have you ever heard of the RLSH movement?
I don't know. I don't think so.
There is, and you can Google this and have all kinds of fun. But you'll find it faster under the real life superhero.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry. Yes, I have.
They shortened it down, and I'm like, nobody's using that.
The acronym. No, the acronym went past me there. Yes, no, I did. I mean, doing research for this, and actually, there was a good documentary made. Oh, what the hell was it called? About what was his name? Master something. Man, I watched it a while ago, but he was one of these real life superheroes, and it was a documentary about his life, and they saw where he lived, and he went on his routes, and it's grown from. Damn it! I wish his name. I know I'm gonna kick myself.
There's a bunch of them, and it's like one of them just got arrested recently for an actual crime.
There you go.
But and it was like a crime, not a. I was just trying to be a superhero and help
bummer.
Like,
so they are just like us.
Sucks. Hello, Carrie. Glad you're here. Thanks for popping in. Saying hi. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, I was sitting here. As much as I was saying, gee, I wish somebody would do it. There are actually quite a few people out there. Now they don't, brood on the rooftops and swing down from cables and stuff. They sort of, like you said, they walk down the middle of the street, waving hi to people and helping little old ladies and doing community outreach. And they're really more community organizers than they are superheroes. I guess.
Kind of what police used to do, right? Back in the day, used to do the patrols, swinging the stick, tipping the hat.
Know everybody on the block.
Yeah,
exactly. And again, it's sort of like Kick-Ass in that initial scene where he's walking down the street in his costume and just kind of trying to be chill and being nervous and talking to people, and then he gets his ass kicked and gets all the Wolverine metal bones. And now he's a bit better fighter by becoming pulverized. All right. I am going to bring the Kickstarter up here. So let's take that off here and bring this up here. Cool. Right off the bat, I'm going to say I love the logo.
Thanks, man.
Because it's so completely comic book simple.
That's what I was absolutely going for. Yeah, taking all the tropes and kind of the golden age in there a little bit in the font choice, but then adding the blood spatter to be like, well, if you just saw that by itself, you might think wrestling, or it might comic might not come to you, and it might be a little too kiddie. And then the blood spatter to me was like, oh, this is going to be a little bit effed up. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's,
but
it's
thank
more
you,
than a
thank
little
you.
bit. Because so many there's a lot of frustrated designers out there, I think, that are making up comic title logos because they're getting so convoluted and so not as iconic, I think.
Sure.
But they work. We are, before I start scrolling, at 49 backers looking at this. So folks in the chat, help me help Chris have a shake and bake moment on the show here. You know what that is if you've been watching long enough. If Chris hasn't seen it, then he'll get to see one tonight. So again, we had the judge, and darn it, I cannot remember his name now. Oliver, yes. And he hates the tights. Then he gets into a scrape at the end of book one. We see how the world is operating around him. I mean, you're like, he can't go for a walk without seeing somebody getting arrested and, tights involved, shooting. And I believe there was like innocent bystanders being taken out in the last book by a superhero who was, shooting something he had no idea how to use.
Yeah.
Yes, John McClane.
Yeah. Some
Right.
man. So he was obsessed. I mean, I love the movie too, but yeah, that's the opening scene in issue 1, and actually the first 9 pages of issue 1. There's a link to it in the Kickstarter on the website too. But yeah, bank robbery is already going horribly wrong with idiots trying to rob a bank. And then, we're introduced to tights and how bad it can get by somebody who thinks he's John McClane with a machine gun. And yes, poor Grandma Agnew gets caught in the line of fire. And she's no longer with us. but yeah, it was a good way just to kind of paint the scene in the world of, well, these people are running around and, they may mean well, but bad stuff can go down when they get involved.
So you are into issue 2, and you asked the obvious question, what is the long game here? I mean, is this a short story told in arcs that you're going to finish up, or is this like, are you looking at the potential for an ongoing kind of world here?
What I really like about the world is that it can continue. It's a very familiar world, and I think what's fun is infusing some of the stuff that we're dealing with, not only COVID and getting over pandemics and stuff, but all the craziness. And that won't stop. It's kind of actually hard to top how insane our world is. So to see that reflected in this, and maybe to take a step further in this world, I think will be fun. And the characters, I don't see why this story would have to end after this first story arc. But the major beats for this first story arc, as I see it, would be and probably up to an 8 issue first story arc. I can see if I can whittle it down to 6. I know that's kind of the magic number, but for me, there's just so many good little big plot twists and characters that we're actually meeting for the first time in issue 2, and more that we'll meet in issue 3 and 4 that are really important to the story. And to fully build it out, I would love to do 8. And so, the first story arc for sure. That's what we're doing, man. I ain't quitting. So tights, hopefully we'll get at least to a volume 1 where I can collect all of that, and Kickstarter for this was the way to do it. But hopefully, I can get it. Hopefully this proves that the story has legs. I think anyone can take 10 years and create, one good issue of a comic, and then they're like, okay, where the hell is this going? And then maybe have a difficult time carrying it on.
Have a great seed and they have no idea what tree that should grow into, and they just kind of leave it.
Exactly. So hopefully this kind of proves that this is going places, and we can just get help, because man, I just want to write this thing and I want to make this thing, and it takes so long, right? Just to take an issue at a time, and then to do all the social media and to build a freaking Kickstarter page, just to put the things on the page takes days. So
it's been a year or a little bit more since Tights #1?
What's that?
It's been a year or a little more since Tights #1.
Yeah, it's we launched, let's see, late October, I believe, of last year. So we're a little bit before, but yeah, I mean, it's coming up on a year, and that's just because of life and just the amount of time, man. It takes a while to make a comic. I think we're so used to going to our shop and just getting it every month or even
Get it every
weekly
month.
sometimes. It's like, no, that stuff was done a year ago or more. Like this thing was
Yeah.
ready to go a long time ago. So yeah.
Yeah, I had Carl Kiesel on a couple of months back, and I asked him about that. I was like, because he's doing a series, his Impossible Jones. He's doing the Impossible Team Up stuff, A, B, C, and D issue numbers. And I said, hey, you and your artist, you're from the big companies. You're used to every 30-day schedule. What's up? Why isn't it every 30 days? You guys, you're supposed to know how to do this. And he basically reiterated what I already knew and what everybody else knew is like, yeah, but we're doing everything. We don't have a distribution system, so we have to do the promotion. We are, have to contact the printers. We have to do the proofing. We're the editing. We're the shippers. So it's a lot more work. Plus, it's not their full-time job where they can, put 8 hours a day to it. It's sort of the work around the other stuff in your life kind of job.
Yep.
So it takes a little longer. And that's not just true for, professionals. That's true for anybody doing a crowdfunded comic pretty much, because we're all working around our jobs and our lives and our families and pretty much trying to get as much in as we can between washing the dinner dishes and putting the kids to bed.
Yep. And then many hours after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Late into the night. Yeah, man.
So you had the link here for the first 9 pages. So I'm going to take full advantage of that and bring that up here.
Cool.
That's as big as I can get it, folks. So, well, you know what? I can change our layout just a tiny bit, give us a little bit more real estate there. This is taking place in San Francisco, so you're familiar with the landscape. You can sort of direct your artist, what buildings to draw, what streets to show.
That was actually a lot of fun. Yeah. Taking, going by the park that happens later on in this issue, taking, photographs and sending it to Edison and, seeing those real life places that, I see, daily kind of come to life in your own comic is pretty cool.
Chris, it's 2022. You realize the risks you entail by just walking around your city park and taking photographs. There's no better way to end up in jail or at least on a watch list than that.
I was very discreet in my car. I was driving. I was literally sticking my hand out the window, taking videos. So I was able to get in and out pretty quickly.
So what are you doing? You're watching the kids? No, I'm not watching kids. Just that one.
Yeah.
But this is the guys walking into the bank. Oliver is, of course, the narrator on this. He's not here at this point, but he's sort of telling this story in retrospect because it ends up in his court.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of sarcastic things to say, and he gets into the whole, everybody's wearing a mask these days. You get anonymity because by law you're required to wear a mask to get in the front door. And it's just, hey, there's our first shot of a grandma right there, counting pennies at the teller counter. Tough. Oh, yeah, she's going to get her pennies changed in for dollar bills or deposit them. And then, of course, it becomes an action movie, an R-rated action movie.
Yeah, yes, rated M for mature for sure.
You've got the blood, you've got the language, and he's here. He means serious business. But so does grandma, because no one cuts in front of grandma.
Told you she's tough, man.
Yeah.
Really,
and which lets the police get to be called. And that's when things get much, much worse. And you, like you said, right down to the bare feet wrapped in bandages.
That was important to me. We had to capture that. I was like, we need a shot of that foot, man.
You're looking at the result of what record-breaking unemployment, crippling crime rates, and 500 million Disney Plus subscriptions can do to a society. And there he is, John McClane, wearing a COVID mask with a John McClane smirk on it to make him look the part.
Yeah.
Well, thanks COVID-21, because this is a slightly near future kind of setting. I like near future. It doesn't really have any new technology. It just means societally, this might be where we go.
Yeah, I can get it. I could just, it afforded me the ability just to get away with a little more than, if it was strictly happening right now in our world, because who knows, maybe it's going to get this crazy.
Yep. And the police are like, as soon as they get there, they realize, oh no, not another, we've got tights. Now, this isn't really the greatest kind of a costume, I would say, for a police officer to say, we've got a superhero, because he's dressed like John McClane, but that's just, pants and a bulletproof vest of some kind here. And not the peak of physical specimen for fighting, but
no,
fortunately
he could probably use some crutches.
Just a few. Yeah. So, he's telling, tell the chief, tell your men to stand down. I've got this. And he's going to do the whole, gun behind the back thing. And there it is. Yeah. Die Hard. He's supposed to be Die Hard. And the other child's like, yeah, I knew it. Pulls it, doesn't aim, just tries to do that whole motion thing. And it's goodbye, Grandma. And it's also goodbye, John McClane. Well, no, not goodbye. The police.
Almost.
I'm zipping through this, folks. This is not how I would normally read a comic. But I do love, Oliver's take on this. Welcome to the new normal. Now, I believe the next page is John McClane in court, and Oliver behind the bench saying something assholey, and he says, "Yes, I'm that asshole." That's the one. That's me. The judge here. So, if you like this, folks, you're going to want to make sure to add on Tights #1 to your order off of this Kickstarter campaign, because you're just going to get so much more of it. This is, of course, where we left off at the end of Tights 1. He's not only just been rescued by a group of Tights who are good at their job, but he's also a bit sick. He's gotten a little drunk. He's had some bad food, and he's just thrown up all over himself. Not the most dignified position for a judge. How did he get into that position? I forget. He was doing something.
Yeah, he so after we see him in the courtroom, he goes to work out with his buddy and personal trainer, Anton. And Anton's a badass too. And we see what happens. They're at a cafe after they've done their workout, and just kind of hanging out. And someone steals a purse, and Anton jumps out and he whoops this guy's ass. And it's in front of this group, and there's even some Tights that were training in the park, and they're like, "Yo, can I have your card?" And so it was like this celebration, of Anton being a complete badass. And so they go out to celebrate, day drinking, and he has a little bit too much, and he shows up late at home, and his wife Lori is pissed because he's supposed to get food, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." And so he kind of jumps back out, and he's like, "I'm gonna get some takeout from this really nice French restaurant." So he's tipsy. He goes out to get takeout, and on his way back from getting takeout, that's when the triads intercept him, and we see them kind of following him earlier on, and so they've been following him, and they try and take literally their shot in this alleyway, and that's when this group called the Shadow Pack, these badasses, intervene, save the day, knock out all the bad guys, but Oliver is scared to death. He's drinking too much, and so then he vomits, and that's the very last scene of what we see. And so now this is the conversation that he's having with, like, who the hell are you people? And this is kind of like the intro of, like, okay, fine, we don't have time for this, but I'm gonna introduce you to everybody. This is Boomstick, this is Tightrope, this is Arclight, I'm Roundhouse, we're the Shadow Pack. Just this is also our, as a viewer, like, who the hell are these people? And we're just kind of getting a glimpse into, oh, they look pretty cool, and they all have different weapons, and even Oliver calls it out. It's like, yeah, you got a cool, Snake Eyes Ninja Turtle thing going on.
Yeah, I was going to say the same things. It's very GI Joe.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that these costumes look like something you could make.
That's what I was going for. Yes, thank you.
If you visited the Army surplus store,
yes,
I mean, all the tights before looked like stuff you could make if you went to your local Goodwill and maybe a Walmart.
Yeah.
But these look like functional. You really could make just with things that you could buy online. I mean, it's guns and knives and tasers.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, she's got a grappling gun. If we went into the actual, how would you build such a thing, and how it could support your weight?
Yeah.
I guess you could trip on that. But I wanted to make it a little fun, and in Arclight, the guy there that Roundhouse calls his glow stick to piss him off. Like you can get into technical, like, how the hell would you do that? But again, like I wanted to keep it a little fun, and okay, these guys might be funded by something to give them the weapons, but yes, based very, practically in the real world.
And of course, just like the real world, we actually do have bad guys who are probably way more skilled at their job than the people who are trying to be good guys.
Yes,
certainly the civilian ones. Because there's still one left, and he's coming after the judge here in this preview. But turns out the judge reflexively doesn't need help.
Yeah, he was holding that bottle.
That's more of a like, I'm just trying to cover my face, but I'm getting that bottle up.
See, Edison nailed it. Yeah, it was hard to be like, how do we make it clear that like this is just a complete like, oh my God reaction, and not like, take that. I'm a badass. But yeah, Edison nailed that. I really love that.
Yes, that best fighting moves in my life I ever pulled off. I wasn't in a fight, and they were totally by accident.
There you go.
I was in college and sitting on a curb, dividing parking lots, waiting for my roommate to come out of our apartment with the keys to take me and my two buddies somewhere else in his car. So I'm sitting there, and I know he's coming from behind me. I can hear him running across the parking lot. I'm like, okay, well, he's coming. So I get up. Well, the moment I get up is the same moment he puts his hands on my shoulders to leapfrog over me.
Oh my God.
So I hit him right in the thigh, send him horizontal. He goes out flying, lands on both his elbows, and breaks them.
Breaks his elbows?
Broke both elbows, yes.
So I can't imagine like how that recovery would go. It'd be miserable.
Yeah, it was like this. He was driving like this.
Oh my God!
To get to the hospital.
Like a sleeping vampire.
Yeah, Paul, if you're still out there, I'm sorry, man.
Oh shit!
I don't know if you watched, but I still remember. But yeah, timing is everything with this kind of thing. And thankfully, it was just broken elbows, not a gutted throat. Can I say gutted throat? I mean, whatever. It's ripped open.
It's a good description.
Yes, like it's the wrong body part, but the right body part. And he is now he is totally freaked out because
the brutally murdered someone.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And then we see, so Roundhouse is kind of the leader there. He's the badass that doesn't have any weapons. He just uses hand to hand. And I like this little panel because he's talking to somebody that we don't see. So who is that, right? And the package is secured. You have eyes on secondary target. Who is that? We're going back to the den. What's the den? So they're there. They save the day, but they're taking the judge now. Okay, they got to get the hell out of there. And that's why he tells Tightrope to wrap him up, and then he bags him.
Now this is the part I don't get here, because it's like, he's got the judge. This guy's throwing up now.
Yep.
I guess because of the bottle and the splick sound and all that.
So that's Boomstick. He's a big guy with a big mouth with a really weak stomach. But we're also planting the seeds here. And actually in a previous panel, he's the one that screamed out no. So I don't want to give anything away. Maybe I'm doing that right now, but
I think just a little bit there.
It's going to, it's going to make more sense as we go. But yes, it is strange. This guy's supposed to be a badass, but maybe he just has like a super weak stomach and he's seeing a bottle being pulled from the throat of a guy who just got
a little bit more than somebody just being knocked out and handcuffed.
Yeah, and also I'll tell you, in the next couple pages, they take him back to like their lair, their den, and they kind of tell him what's what, right? Why they need his help, what they're all about. And we learned like they don't kill, like that's their thing. Very Batman, like we're not the bad guys here.
You killed, not us.
yeah. So they're like, So that's also why, like that's like their thing. So they're not complete crazies.
So this is the cover for number 2. I don't know if it's cover. It is cover A. There will be multiple covers here. So we're seeing some new characters on here. I like this character here because this character, I may be wrong, but this character screams out to me goofy sidekick.
He is. He is kind of a goofy sidekick. That's great.
Like Woozy Winks to Plastic Man.
Yeah, his name is Terry. He's great. He works. He's essentially an assistant because Oliver's a federal judge, and so he's the one that gives him his docket and kind of answers the phones. And he's a close friend. They've been working together forever, and he kind of calls Oliver out on his bullshit, but he's also there as one of his few close confidants. But yeah, good job. See, Edison's great, man. You could tell at a glance.
And the lady down here now, she's in front of the Shadow Pack, but she's smaller than them. So this isn't a leading the charge. This is just a collage of characters here.
Yep. That's kind of like your Marvel character collection collage. So that's Veronica. That's a badass new character who's going to play a major role from here on out. And when Oliver doesn't know what to do, when he's put in this horrible situation where he has to help these Tights out by breaking the law himself, and he can't go to the cops for the multiple reasons you'll find out, he calls her. And both Oliver and his wife Lori were friends with Veronica in college, but they are estranged, and you don't really know what she is now. We're introduced to her in a kind of a risque and risky situation. So I don't want to give anything away, but
that's a plunging neckline.
Yes, yes, and you'll see why she's wearing it. It's not just chest out for chest out's sake.
Yeah, because that's the one thing about comic book superhero costumes versus, gosh, if I'm making one in the real world, you'd be everyone would be a lot more covered. There's no phantom ladies, there's no silk specters running around there because it's cold.
And it's cold. Yeah, that's a good point.
This is the alternative cover. I love this one because again, this is metaphorical. They're standing up on the clouds. They're heroes, and here he is in total defiance, holding his Mjolnir like gavel and giving him the bird. Just in complete and utter defiance of what they stand for, even though they both stand for the same thing.
Kyle Petchuk. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. The guy is amazing. If you haven't seen his work, you can link to it. I think anytime I mention any of the artists' names, personal pages, but I was so lucky that he got excited and wanted to work on this with us because I love how different the covers are. They stay within the same world and somewhat of a similar style, but different enough. And just a completely different flavor. Yeah, it just came out so awesome.
Oh, so here's where we get into the tiers. This is what you get. Get your wallets out now, folks. This is the time we need you to be hitting. God, I need to watch more QVC and see how they do this.
You're doing very well.
But phones are open now. People, hit the link. Yes, let me mention this. There is a link to this Kickstarter. It is right below this video. Hit it now. It opens in a whole new window, so you don't have to stop listening to anything that Chris is going to tell you. You can browse through it, throw some money at it, and still hear all about it. Maybe it'll make you want to check out the add-ons because I'm sure there are some.
There are. We got all the original art, every single page, including the cover. Well, the cover is part of like the the toppest tier pledge tier that we have. But so we have the cover that you can get, the ink signed by Edison. He's about to be big. I'm not just saying that. I mean, the guy is.
Oh yeah.
He's so talented in the work that he's putting out, and the amount of excitement that he's garnering toward his work is impressive, and he deserves it. So we got all of it, everything, every single page that you see in the comic can be an add-on, and there's 3 tiers for that. And yeah, if you see something that you think is awesome and you want it, just add it on, select the tier, and then message me which page, and then it could be yours.
If you are an original art collector, folks, this is the original art to get, is the people who haven't been found yet.
Yeah.
By the larger companies,
Yeah.
to where, they get priced out of the market. So, imagine having like some original Jim Lee artwork when he was still doing Ninja Santa, and stuff like that.
Exactly.
This ground floor stuff. You've got the digital version of number 2 here for $5, and you can get 1 and 2 for $8. So it's only $3 more if you have not read the first issue, and you're still kind of on the fence. $8 is a nothing. There's not even shipping involved in this. Come on, folks, it's flat $8.
I think it's as costly as like a beer right now, at least where I'm living.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cup of coffee will cost you more than that at Starbucks.
Yeah, you might be right there.
And when you do get to the physical tiers, it's only $10. This is now I don't know what the shipping is yet.
I believe it's $5 or $6.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Yeah.
In fact, I question how you do that, because I am the shipper, and I'm like, $6 for, how are you pulling that off?
Yeah, man. Some of the magic's done in the up more expensive expensive tiers, where I also offer up, the behind the scenes stuff. And there's actually one where we'll help you kickstart your comic book and your Kickstarter with all the knowledge that we've accumulated over 2 of these things, and well, beyond me, my team that has learned on creating others, and then also all the artwork and the scripts, which was super helpful for me when I was able to see just a template in Word that I could use to write my script, was invaluable. And then also what I've been doing is using actually Keynote. Actually, I used Keynote to make that video just because I'm stubborn, and I just didn't have the time to learn another program. And I wanted to save some money. And then my buddy helped me, Jeremy Arth, with the sound effects. Thank you very much, Jeremy. But Keynote, I've been using that. I have a template going. And so when I make my posts, it's way easier and way quicker when I have something going where I can just drag and drop new images and export as video to make, like reels or, TikToks in some cases. But so all that's offered in those tiers. And so I can kind of make up some of that money that I'm that I may be losing in others with, the time that is put into.
Sure. Your skills are way ahead of mine. I use PowerPoint for every video I make.
Oh man, bless your heart, man. PowerPoint's the devil to me. Keynote is, they're very similar, but the amount of creative stuff that you can do in Keynote, I just think is just so much beyond. It's so much more beyond, particularly when dragging in images. I don't know how the technology does it. Like, it's crazy. Like, you can take almost anything, TIFF, PNG, JPEG, whatever, a video. You can just drag it right into your layout, and it's just there. You don't have to save it in a file like you're working in InDesign or anything like that. It just is in there forever. And I don't know. I just can't tell you just like how much easier it is just to be able to drag and drop everything, man. So I'm telling you, I know it's a learning curve, just like anything else, but I just like it way better.
I'll have to get some video software sometime, but I'm looking. I actually am looking at like Doodly.
I haven't even heard of that.
It's more of an explainer video tool, and it's sort of like, you got all this black and white clip art, but you can also do your own, and then you just put the clip art on there, and whatever different pieces you can assemble it. So like, you can put a desk, you can put a chair, you can draw a man in there, have him sitting in the chair, erase part of the chair, and then what happens is it animates, and a hand comes up and draws those things onto the screen while you're talking.
Oh,
and it
that's
can be
rad.
like a real hand or a cartoon hand, and it's just sort of, it's really just something to capture your audience's attention while they're
Sure.
listening to the words. It has nothing to do with what you're saying,
Yeah,
other than like, that's cool.
that is cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it because it was one of those very few things I've seen that's not so many dollars a month subscription.
Oh, yeah.
Is like
Dude, those add
$67.
up,
Here's
man.
the software. You've bought it.
Yeah,
Like,
just the
ooh,
creative suite with where everything is a subscription now. And even like,
yeah.
I was reading about BMW and they're going to be charging for heated seats. I'm like, oh my god, what world is what the hell is going on? A subscription to heat your seats? Like, what's
Like I said, my
next?
car has heated seats, but I don't have to pay monthly for it.
It's brutal,
Um,
man.
I almost said that doesn't make sense with the car, but I have XM radio, so never mind.
As do I.
You can get for $13. You can get the digital and the physical copy.
Signed, and we got a little. They're called book plates, but they're stickers. I don't know why we call them book plates, but what's cool is that Neo's on there. It's me and Reed, who is our awesome letterer and also designer. He lays out the books, and which I cannot tell you how freaking helpful that is. My God, I'm so lucky that he was just good at that. So we've signed it, and we've signed it's a sticker that'll be inside the covers or on the back cover. Of the issues.
Book plates are the way to go.
Yep, there you go.
These are the book plates for our last campaign. They're going to be mailed out to Mike Barron and Hart Fisher so that they can both sign them and mail them back. I just printed them this afternoon.
Oh, nice.
They're still warm off the printer. So yeah, signed copies of the book with the plate on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
For $15, you can get a signed copy of the second cover. And of course, here you're going to get the it says 2-pack. Let's just call it a 3-pack. You're going to get the digital and the 2 physical copies. So you get 3 copies of the book here, $22. Again, you would spend more than $22 for a 48-page, you would spend more than that for a single issue of some of these other comic campaigns that are out there. Getting my page numbers all mixed up though. Speaking of which, how big is this? I believe this is like your 24, 26 kind of page book.
Technically, when you go to the printer, 28, so 24 story pages.
Okay, yeah, 24 story pages, because it's got to be 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how they do it, folks. You fold the paper, and then you got 4 sheets.
Yep.
So this is where we get into the cool stuff now. I mean, not that the book's not cool, but after a while, it's like you get the book or the book or the book or the book or the book.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into some other stuff.
That's the fun stuff.
Yeah,
this one's bringing in the original, and it's the first print. We're running out of those. So that one's also signed. So everything's signed. You get, if you miss the first one and you like print, like myself, even when I get, when I crowdfund something and I get the print and the digital, I just in the digital, so it shows up super quick, which it'll do that for this too, because the book's done. And that's what's really cool about this time around. We were close to finishing last time. This thing's like done now. And so as soon as this ends, we'll be sending out the digital versions to everybody. But even when I get those digital versions for other Kickstarters and crowdfunding campaigns, I want the thing in my hand, so I wait. And so this is kind of your signed print collector's edition version of that. Yeah.
Then you also have the Kickstarter exclusive bundle. So what is added to this that is Kickstarter exclusive?
So we have, and we can scroll down after we see the rest of the pledge tiers, but we have, and the last one we had a poster that was done by an insanely talented friend of mine that was in issue 2 kind of inspired, that was a limited run. This time we have another one that we worked with this artist out of Nigeria who's, crazy talented. When we get a closer look at this, you're going to see just how good he is. And Samuel, I'm going to butcher his last name. How do you say it? Owunzi. And the reason we saw his work on Magic Powder, which is an incredible indie comic.
I do know that one. Yeah.
And he did the covers for that. When I saw that art, I reached out to the dude. I'm like, dude, who did this? And So we had him make this. It's actually a James Bond, an old James Bond poster, and it's inspired by that. And so we have that. That's only going to be in this run. We have another sticker pack that people thought was fun. We added that. We have a bookmark that's front and back, and then we have this fun little unapproved by the Comics Code Authority keychain that has a little bit of the blood spurt on it, a little bit of the attitude that you see in the logo. So you get all those fun extras. Plus, when we hopefully meet our goal and we hit some stretch goals, anything that's digital, any stickers, any other posters that we're going to get made by some other artists that we'll bring in, that'll all be free. So if you get the Kickstarter exclusive bundle or the early pledge, so we have 25 of the early pledge, and that's the exact same thing as the exclusive. It's just you get it for $10 less. So it's just
I just got to the point where I figured out what the difference was. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, first 25 get a discount.
Yeah.
Then
it's the same thing. Yes, it's the same exact thing as the exclusive bundle. So just to drive excitement and people talking. Again, we're not going to be making any money by any means on those. But again, this is trying to get people excited, talking about it, and also reward them with stuff later on.
Yeah, because now that you've called it a Kickstarter exclusive bundle, that implies that there are other places to get this book, but not this bundle.
There will be.
Okay.
So eventually, fingers crossed, like the first issue is in comic shops in San Francisco and LA. You can get it online through the website. But when we print the run for this Kickstarter for these things, when they're gone, they're gone.
Okay.
Now there's still some things from the first one that we haven't still sold out of. And so as an add-on, you can get like a pin that we created. But, when this, I'm not going to order a 200 more of anything just to have it. We're going to order, the amount that we have to hit in order to fulfill the amount. And sometimes that's, how it is, like 25, you have to order 25 more pins or 50 more pins or whatever.
We hit this stretch goal, I get more inventory. Oh wait, that's somebody else's thing.
So but these fun things are limited to this Kickstarter.
Real quick before we get to the top of the hour, I do want to remind people that there are other shows out there other than ours. That's poor advertising, I know, but that's how it works out here. We network. And Mike Walters is going to be firing up the mic stand on his channel right at the top of the hour, going over all the niche news of comics, professional wrestling, and manga and anime. So if you like that kind of thing, go bookmark his channel and then go watch it later, because we don't want you to leave here until we're done. So $500, no, $600. I told you, myopic proofreader. These are readers, and my new monitor. Okay, here's the thing. I've been improvising this studio area a little bit at a time, and I used to have a folding table here where I'm working with two laptops in like scrunched up room. Well, with all the fulfillment I was doing, I was like running out of floor space to walk around all the people's boxes. So I got rid of the folding table and took the top off of it, and I bought a 5-level shelf here, wireframe shelf. So my workstation is now the second shelf, and then every other shelf is filled with the printers, the tubes, the mailing boxes of people's comics that I'm fulfilling through in demand or through comic shops. Just everything. Cleared up my room so much, so happy. But the upshot of that was that the second monitor could no longer be on this shelf where it was. I had to move it like 2 feet further out. So it's not blocked by the shelf. And it's just at that right limit where my reading glasses make it blurry. And without my reading glasses, it's blurry. If it was like up on the wall there, I'd be fine. Or if it was like 2 feet closer, I'd be fine. So I'm like screwing up everything. I'm like telling people, send it to South Elm Street. And they're like, what's the house number? I'm like,
you got to get an arm, maybe.
Put
one of those arms in there so you can like pull it forward.
Oh, that would be, it's because it's on a stand, but dude. Yeah, if I get like one of them TV mounts and just mount it on the side of my shelf and just swing it around.
They got great ones for your desk, for your monitors. Yeah, you pop your monitor off of your stand and then you screw it in the back. Just make sure it's compatible, because I think there's a name for a type of stand, and you just got to make sure a monitor is good with it. But they've gotten actually pretty economical. Before, it was ridiculously ungodly expensive for a stupid arm on your damn desk, but now you can find really cool ones that have like 2 or 3 of them. But yeah, that's probably
Of course,
the way
I'd
to
have
go.
to mount it to this cabinet here. Otherwise, I would like swing the arm out, and then the weight would be all out here, and it just go on the floor, and not have a monitor anymore. $600. Cover
That's
art.
the big
Tights
kahuna
blanket.
here.
Yes. So this is the cover A. And folks, I wish I can. I'm going to try and make this a little bit bigger here because you really need to see this.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it skipped actually right to it when we get a closer shot.
That's amazing. Okay, perfect. So yeah, this is the traditional pencil, traditional ink of the cover. How does it say how big this is?
Oh, you know what? I should put it in there. I'm going to make a note of that.
Because some people just create on 8.5 by 11, and it's a direct transfer, and then some people use the full 11 by 17 blue board.
It's bigger. It's definitely bigger. Darn it! I have the first issue. I have the cover art, and I'm assuming he did the same. But that's actually really great. I didn't freaking think of that. So I will add that tonight. I'll find out the dimensions. But yeah, it's bigger. It's actually really cool. It has presence. I'll tell you that. But I'll double check and I'll put the dimensions there.
Yeah, because I like to get, I've got everything on my wall is framed, and I've got some odd sized frames that I had to search around for because, I make them fit. I don't like them floating in the middle of the frame with like an inch or 2 on each side.
I'm with you, man. That bothers me.
Although matching has gone a long way to help that. So here is, wait a second. I got to go back and look at the second cover because I did not. Okay, never mind. She does have that dress. Or very similar. So she looks definitely like a James Bond character.
She's a badass.
She's not technically a tights, I guess.
We'll have to find out. No, it's fine. No, you right away you'll know that she's not. But she certainly has a particular set of skills that we're going to get a glimpse at, and she's definitely in more control than Oliver. What's that?
We're getting a glimpse at a lot of her skills right now.
Yes, this is Samuel. I mean, this was very, very much inspired by this old James Bond poster, and I even have the issue 002 with the little the little James Bond thing there. So,
and I like Oliver's pose here too because it fits with the comic because as very much as he's like, as a judge behind the bench, you go to jail and you go to jail and you go to jail. But outside of that, in a one-on-one confrontation, he's like, no, don't make me use
you handle it. I'm completely out of my element. Yeah, no, he killed it. It's so good.
And he actually looks familiar, and I can't tell you why, but he looks like a real person that I know from, I have to say, from movies or something, but I can't picture who it would be. This is, of course, the unapproved by the Comics Code Authority. This is a nice little, that looks like a sticker mule.
It was what I made that comp. I might have taken it from Sticker Mule as the comp. I may go with them. I may go with someone else because this other place you can, I think, print on the front and back. So I was like, that's better than just the front.
That is better than just the front. Yeah, I would love double-sided. I mean, oh God, I'm a Sticker Mule guy from way back, and
I love them. How
did you get today's email?
No, is there a new deal on those?
There's a new deal on a new product. They are now doing 18 by 24 posters.
The posters, I did get that. Never mind. Yeah. I did get that.
I'm like, I don't know what to put on one, but I want one.
Yeah, they're fantastic. We've used them. We're going to reuse them for actually the sticker bag you're about to see. But they do, they make so many things. I actually just ordered a shirt because they have these crazy deals. If anyone's listening and you're not on this the Sticker Mule mailing list, get on it because they're nuts. Like they just give stuff away sometimes. And they just did a thing like print a shirt, $9, shipping included. I'm like, yeah. So I just made a shirt with the shadow pack. I'm like, this is cool.
mine is arriving Friday, but I've got at least 10 shirts in there that are all Critical Blast, all the different logos on there, because they were new. And they were like, hey, we're trying shirts. Exactly. Do you want to try one for $9? And I got it. And they're like, okay, we've kind of modified the print, or we're getting different fabrics. Do you want to try it again? And it's literally like, here, order 50 stickers for a buck and a donut.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, I got a bunch, man. I ordered when I had that deal. I loaded up on these.
This thing right here
There
is a little Otzi from Life on Korra, and
cool.
I was fulfilling that comic, and it was coming to me from the Netherlands, and they sent me this deal. It's like, hey, get little pins. I'm like, I have nothing I want to make a pin of, but I cannot pass that deal up.
Exactly. Yeah. You gotta find something. That's exactly what I was doing. I was like, I
took his art and I just like, give me pins. And then everybody who ordered the book got a pin in there. And then I said, oh, by the way, they got this. And he's like, what? Where'd that come from? I'm like,
that's awesome, man.
For free, just because good public relations. And
yeah,
if I didn't buy it, I wouldn't save $30.
Exactly.
So here are the sticker sets. Now, that's not Oliver with his pants down, is it?
No, that is You'll Meet Little Tiger. Lil Tiger, Lil. He's a triad, kind of a fool. And we meet him when he meets Veronica. And at some point, he literally gets caught with his pants down. So I thought, of all the things in the book that I could make a sticker, this ridiculous pose, someone might have fun putting that sticker in certain places around the world. So I was like, what? I can see this in a bathroom. I can see this on a stop sign or something. So yeah.
Speaking of cool stuff, and this is not a sticker mule or a sticker pack, but I'm going to walk away just long enough to go to my shelf and try to get it without destroying it. This is what I just got from Miskatonic High. And they've been doing these acrylic standees, and they've been doing one of the characters for every issue. And I was like, I'm just going to wait until they're all done and then order the kit, which is what I did. And so I got the base, the Miskatonic High base, to stand them all in that way.
Do you know what makes that?
I don't know who makes it, but I will find out for you.
Dude, that is cool, and those are flat. So man, like,
yes, they are.
To mail those characters in that stand.
Yeah,
they're
flat now. Now there's an envelope up there because technically each one of these came with its own round base. But if you discard the round base and you go for the title base, which they just released with the last issue, that's what I did. And yeah, they do look cool. Common America has been doing that with a lot bigger ones, but yeah, flat. They lay on top of the comic in a little envelope. I will ask Mike Shea who's doing them, and I will get back with you on that, because
that could be a cool.
I've seen a lot of people doing them. And I was just thinking, Grandma Gertrude. I just wanted to stand up a Grandma Gertrude.
That would be good,
with her little oxygen tank, just standing there
talking shit.
Oh, but never mind. I do that. I get on these tangents of cool things.
No, dude, I'm looking for ideas for stretch goals, and I think that would be really cool.
I used to be big on stickers because I was a sticker guy, and I was like, they're going on the back of my laptop. And about 8 to 10 months ago, my laptop died. And all my cool stickers were no longer cool because you don't keep a dead laptop no matter how decorated it is. Yeah. So now I'm all about the die cut refrigerator magnets.
Okay.
Because if my refrigerator dies, I clean that off and I put them all on the new one.
That's true.
You've got some bookmarks in here. You've got we got
the Shadow Pack on one side. We got Veronica on the other. I just thought it was cool that they're just completely different, but look cool in their own right.
Yeah,
it'll be laminated this time around. Before we had the red sheen and it looked good, but it's just not durable. So this time I'm just going to get it laminated.
Laminated. I was just talking with a girl this past Saturday who does a comic book out of Italy, and she's sent me prints before. And if I wanted to get her box off of here and pull it out, I'd show you. But her prints, she's a teacher, so she's always doing flashcards. She's teaching ESL in Italy. And she's like, to make my flashcards last longer, I bought a lamination machine. So when I started getting my prints in, guess what? She ran them through. You could use these things as placemats at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And they're sturdy as all hell. I'm like, I don't have to worry about bending those when I pack them. They're all wobble, 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 wobble.
And then these are the add-ons and leading the charge. This is just telling people how to do it, just because Kickstarter sometimes, for someone who's never used it before, can be like, what is an add-on? How the hell do I do it? Where does it go? So hopefully this makes it a little easier to understand. But this first batch are it's the artwork. And so we have 3 tiers, all original. It includes shipping because Edison's going to mail it out from Singapore directly to whoever will purchase them. And we got 3 tiers. The more involved, the more action, that's going to be a little bit more expensive. But we have 3 tiers. One's 200, 175. One's 175, and the other's 100. And if you can't really see those, so if you click on the image, it'll take you to hopefully a little link that you can see these much closer.
Imgur, work Imgur. Oh, it's slow. That's on me though. Although I don't know why it's so slow. Imgur's just got a lot to load on it.
There's a lot of ads going on.
Okay,
yeah. There we go. There we go.
This is the again original art page. Going to be oversized. $200 for these. Well, for the ones on that tier. Let's be absolutely sure about that. So yeah, it's the first couple here. Oh, that's a page I didn't see before.
Yeah, there's going to be some spoilers. So this one we're looking at when the Shadow Pack take Oliver to their den, basically their kind of hideout. These are some cork boards that have the 3 major crime syndicates that are kind of taken back San Francisco. So up top we have the Hondurans, and then we have the Russians, and then the Triads are kind of back with a vengeance because Johnson, aka the White Lotus, the guy who sent the Triads to kill Oliver, he's broken out of jail, and this is kind of all the Shadow Pack is done their research, and this is the stuff that they know. But as we can see, there's a lot of Post-its with question marks, and that this is why, to fill those in, Oliver is going to be able to help them out because of his credentials being a federal judge and his access to certain information that they just can't get.
So you got 2 boxes here that are all tier 1, which page 1, 3, 4, 9, 16, 18, 20, and 21. And basically you can see the unlettered version of the story.
I know. Spoiler alert.
I'm not going to bring any more of them up here, but they go down in price. Tier 2, you've got another 8 pages here, and you got another 9, 10, 11 pages for tier 2.
Yeah. And
then if you've only you're trying to buy it on a budget, you can get these lesser detailed pages here. There's just not as much action on it.
Some of that was digitally added, after he uploaded. That's why some of the panels aren't completely detailed.
Left blank because they had to have an effect. That's easier done with computers.
And then we get the stuff to catch you up. Some of the tiers don't offer issue 1 digital or printed, and so what these give you is you can add any of it on, and they're all at a discount, right? So if you go to our website right now, these are cheaper than that. We even have the originals, and you can see the book plate there, that if you want one that's signed, you can get it. These are the belly pins. This was the cover B that was a fan favorite, and man, they nailed it. I got this gentleman on Fiverr to take the art and bring it down to, I forget, like 4 colors, and then also stylize the art in a way to where I think it was Sticker Mule that made my pens, that they could actually produce these enamel pens, and man, they came out way better than I thought. So we still got a bunch of these. I had to order these in bulk, so I still got a bunch of these. And
I've ordered enamel pens before, and you've got to order like 100 of them at the minimum. Sticker Mule doesn't do enamel pins yet, so you had to get that somewhere else. But, there's Wizard pins that's been doing some stuff.
Thank you. Okay, it was Wizard. Yep, they're great.
And I only know this because I was like thinking about doing it one time. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? Who am I going to give them to?
I got to.
Technically, we have membership levels on this channel, and we've had membership upon possibilities for a year. 99 cents a month. You'll get an envelope with, sticker and envelope and magnet and keychain and all that cool stuff.
Really? Damn, that's a deal.
Well, not really, because you figure after a year you spent $12 and you got your envelope with a sticker in it. But as we get new stuff, I would be happy to keep the subscribers. Here's the thing: I'm not an artist. I'm not a comic creator. I'm not going to say, "Hey, we got a new trading card for all our members this month." So it's a hard sell, I think. But it is there if you want to support the channel. We would much rather have you support the channel by after you've seen the link to Tights and finish that. There are some more links down there for the books we publish.
Nice.
They're all on Amazon. All you got to do is just, put them in your cart. You don't have to get them tonight. Just put them in your cart, and then you'll remember them next time you check and say, oh, yeah, I was going to get those books. We just finished, because of our crowdfunder. Yes, The Devil You Know is out there on Amazon and has been there for about a year and a half. Nice. We just finished. I keep doing that, grabbing the wrong book. I'm going to have to put Marty's book somewhere else so I don't grab it like that. The sequel, The Devil You Know Better, if an anthology can have a sequel. And that's what the book plates are for, because we did a hardcover of this on Indiegogo that just wrapped up earlier this week. So there will be more updates to that if you were a backer. If you were, you know who you are already, because you get regular backers updates from me. All right. So, wow, we've gone over an hour. We've had plenty to talk about on this campaign. And I'm going to now do the embarrassing thing and go back up to the top. Two backers at least came in during the show. So thank you so much to whoever you were. Yes. This is the rule. If you get backers while we're talking, we claim the credit for sending them.
You can take it, man. I appreciate it.
You can't prove we didn't do it. So
hey, if there's 0 backers, it doesn't matter, man. I mean, I had a blast the first time we talked. Yeah, that's crazy. It's been an hour and there's a little counter, like an hour and 17 minutes. That's nuts. So you're having a good time when you have no idea.
Exactly. When it passes like that, but that does qualify us for our shake and bake moment, and our viewers do like to see that. And it goes a little something like this, Chris.
It's shake and bake, and I help.
So whoever it was who helped, we greatly appreciate you for doing so. You make me look good. Makes it all worthwhile. Makes other people want to come on and show their projects to you, because there are so many. My calendar. I used to talk with people who had shows like this and try to send people to them, and they're like, I haven't got an opening for the next 2.5 months. I'm like, what's that like? But lately I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that's like, because I'm like filling out my calendar and people are launching in 2 months. And
I was trying to talk to some other people to come on and to their podcast, and I messed up. Like I waited way too long, just assuming, I got a bunch of time. This was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they're like, sorry, man. Like, even if we get you on, we're not going to be able to make it into. We're not going to post it. We just can't. Like, we have a backlog of a dozen episodes that we need to edit and put together.
Oh yeah, I don't mess with editing. This is live and it's immediately available afterwards. So I wouldn't know what to do. It would be too much.
Yeah, it's great though. I mean, all that means is that the indie comics community is thriving, and crowdfunding is thriving. And I mean, just even since last year, seeing how much is out there, and seeing like all the new buddies that I've made continue to make, like, it wasn't a one and done. They're making it happen. It's just so cool. So
it's not only that they're continuing to make it happen, Chris, but they're getting progressively better, and we can see it happening. We can see the evolution of their art just by virtue of doing.
Yeah. It's the best way to do it. Only way to do it.
It's absolutely the only way to do it. Gabriel, glad you're here. Sorry that we're getting ready to say goodbye, but we're still glad you're here. Do hit the link and check this out. I think you'll like it. So if you're looking for shows to get on, I will hit you up with a few people. I am actually going to be hosting on. Let's get that aforementioned calendar out here. On the 28th, which is a Sunday, I will be hosting the final panel at CromCon,
cool.
Pops Van Zant's online convention. And I am, of course, trying to line up people who just want to sit around and talk with other creators about their stuff. And and life in general. So
Sweet.
if that's something you'd like to be involved with, just let me know, and I'll put your name on the list and get you the link the night of. It would be an hour later than what we did tonight, whatever time zone you're in there. So
I might be 28th.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock Eastern, 876. It's 6 o'clock your time.
Let's see really quickly. I'm just double checking. 25th. Oh, that's going to be the last day of my wife and I's trip to wine country.
Okay.
But the parents are coming. They're going to watch the little one. And so we're going to get away and be adults for a couple of days. So, damn it. Unfortunately, that is literally the last day.
As hard as it is to say, that is way more important than comic books.
But thank you for the invite. Well, who knows? Who knows what time we might be back? Actually, because it's late, send me the info. So I think that's the day we're coming back. So I actually might be able to make it. So thank you for the invite.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, be glad to have you on board, because it's a lot easier than talking to nobody, having people there that you've talked with before and talking about their comics. All right, Chris, thank you so much for bringing Tights over to the show tonight. It's always a pleasure speaking with you and looking at the stories you're telling. I'm going to hope and, cross my fingers that not only is this campaign successful, I've got no reason to think it won't be. You're over halfway to goal. You're right at halfway to goal with only 1 day in. So naturally,
fingers crossed, man. I just want to print these things.
yeah. I would love to see it have just been, funded in 5 minutes.
Last year, issue 1, I think we were very lucky. We had a lower goal, but I think the enthusiasm, particularly with close family and friends, for oh my god, he really did it, was that pretty crazy.
Son of a bitch, he's actually doing it.
Very, very generous amounts that were poured in there. But no, I think hopefully we'll just be able to get there and we can just continue making this thing.
All right. Well, if you can't make the CromCon, again, you've got 29 days to go with a lot of time, a lot of calendar days. You can always hit us up later in the campaign during that last week or so if you want to come back on and talk a little bit more and give it a little bit more of a push. We are here for you. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming in and watching the show tonight. We're just a podcast falling in the woods without you being out there giving us commentary and watching whatever it is that I do. I just ask questions. I work best from a position of ignorance because then I can ask questions, and that's what the show's all about. Meanwhile, saying it at the same time, yes, while you were here, has nothing to do with this. I swear to God, I can handle my liquor. While you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night, everybody.
I did. Thank you